last time.
Can't go off of him.
Yeah.
But, well, let's talk about Mr. Chandler.
Let's talk.
Let's talk about Mr. Hooker.
All right. My first initial thoughts were a couple things. I don't know. Dan Hooker came out like he was scared. And I don't know if it was scared or just what the filling out process.
I think he was trying to have a feel out process.
Has you not seen any of Chandler's fights? There is no fill out process. Chandler does not have a fill out process.
You would think.
And that's why I said we talked about this for the last 2-3 weeks now. Chandler in a 3-round fight is going to be very hard to beat for all of them. Yeah. Doesn't matter who it is, and it was like tonight, like you've got to get in his grill and make him blow his wad in that 3-round fight, and it wasn't there when Hooker started setting pace and circling around and trying to figure out what he was going to do. Chandler started, if you looked at the last fight with Benson Henderson, he started now throwing combinations off of his switch stance. So he walks forward as he punches and he changes the direction.
Switches that stance.
Yeah. And he changes the direction in which the punch is coming. And when he does that, it comes from different angles. And so it doesn't matter if you're 6'2" and you're long and lanky, because he's actually closing the distance by stepping in and switching and throwing the power. He's got power in both hands. He does. People handpick his right hand, but guess what? He's got power in that left hand as well. We saw that.
He put out Benson Henderson in his fight before this, and now put out, put out Hooker. That's where the left hand is what put Hooker on the deck. Yeah. So I think the thing to look at here, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, you're a Bellator homer. That's why." No. Yeah. If you looked at the fight, I will tell you this: Michael Chandler is a good fighter. Dan Hooker is a good fighter that did not show how good of a fighter he is in this fight. And he's going to have to figure out what he did wrong. But I do think he gave, I don't want to say it was too much respect. I think he was trying to figure out the timing on him. And he kept circling, but nothing was coming Michael Chandler's way. He was giving some feints. He was giving some little movements with his feet that he would come a little bit and make Chandler kind of stop. But there wasn't anything offensive really going towards Chandler, and there had to be something. The low kick he was trying on the calf, it missed. Okay, we'll switch it up. Just keep him at range. At range, you have a great advantage. Why not keep it there and make him feel like it's hard to pass this barrier and get into his range? Yeah. I don't know where the game plan came from, whatever it was, but I know Dan Hooker is a way better fighter than he was able to show in this performance.
John, I'm going to tell you this, and I feel like this is one of those scenarios that I had talked about probably about 3 weeks ago, and I said, these guys in the top 6 in UFC, they have no idea who fucking Michael Chandler is. Want to know why? They don't watch Bellator.
That's okay.
And I'm okay with that. What I'm saying though is this: when all these guys came over from the WC and all these guys came over from Strikeforce and they started winning, it's because those guys in the UFC never cared to pay attention to what they were doing, what the other fighters were doing in their weight class, never realizing that one day they may come over. If you are fighting in the UFC, you need to be watching every fighter from other organizations, because when they are eventually going to feel like the good ones are going to eventually try to find their way maybe into the UFC. Or in Chandler's situation, Bellator was like, look, you just got knocked out by Patricio and we feel like you've lost your value and you're asking too much money, so let's just let you go. And that's really what happened. It came down to like he wanted a ton of money. And so when he wanted a ton of money, like, you just lost to our 45-pound champ, go ahead and test the market. He tested the market and he just said, look, we don't want to do this. But my point is back to the Hooker situation. I really feel like these fighters in the top 5, top 8, whatever it is, they don't pay attention to other organizations. In these type of situations, it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them because guys like Chandler that are going to come over that are just, they're sleeping on, oh, you're older, oh, you're washed up, or oh, you fought in Bellator. They're going to continue to say that. And these type of things are going to happen to them if they don't pay attention.
Well, that's true, but let's make something very clear here. Michael Chandler did lose to Patricio. He got knocked out. He got hit behind the ear, which is something that You saw it with Andrew Sanchez tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Sanchez was fighting a tough fight. I think he was losing the fight, but gets hit behind the ear, and look at the chicken dance that he was doing, and it put him out of the fight. That can happen to anyone.
Yep.
But absolutely, Chandler lost to Pitbull. But then he came back and he did a first round